got an idea to create a new type of visa, which could let people stay up to 1 year. And very few papers. Within 5 days, you get your visa and you're able to move with your family and live in any city of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan can be a very favorite place for neo-nomads.
What one location or place in the country that took your breath away? Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Astana Times YouTube channel. I'm your host Astana, and I'm honored to have as my guest tonight Yerzhan Yerkinbayev, Vice Minister of Tourism and Sports of Kazakhstan. Thank you very much, Yerzhan, for devoting your time to come to the studio and to talk with us about a very important industry, which is tourism. But before I dive into my specific questions, I want to break the ice of our conversation by asking you this. As Vice Minister of Tourism and Sports, and probably as a citizen of Kazakhstan, you must have explored many parts of our country. If you could share with us what one location or place in the country that took your breath away?
Thank you. Very interesting question. I would say it's Bozhira, Mangistau region, Caspian shore. Very beautiful. We started our journey from Aktau. It was a pandemic year, actually. The quality of road, it was just built, so it was brilliant. Very comfortable driving, beautiful landscape, what we call a great steppe. So limitless, you see the flat, great plain. So then you meet a lot of camels, beautiful, big camels, hundreds of them, which is very, very unique. You cannot see them in Almaty or Astana. Then suddenly we got close to the Karakia. This is not a region, it's an area, 85 kilometers by 20-something, 25 maybe, which is one of the lowest point in Asia.
Wow.
So a huge, huge area, which actually makes you feel different. And then you see a beautiful mountain, which is local people, they call the mountain tiramisu, because it looks like a cake.
I haven't heard of it.
At the bottom, it's brownish, then it's yellow, like cream, then it's pink, like jam, and then it's brownish brown, like chocolate. So beautiful mountain. And then suddenly this Mars landscape appears, Bozhira. It's a huge area. You cannot see the end up to horizon. Huge white chalky horns, not the mountains, but horns are appearing, rising up from the bottom. And when you're thinking that 8 million years ago it was a bottom of Tethys ocean, it makes you really feel freezing, and you still can find bones and bones and of ancient animal like sharks, and suddenly from behind another mountain you can see hundreds of mountain goats, very wild ones. So you cannot see it anywhere else. Of course, we have Chireen Canyon, we have many other places, unique ones. We have beautiful glaciers, but you can see it in other countries as well, but I'm not sure that you can find another Bozhira in the world.
The way you describe Bozhira now, a picture came into my mind, and I just wanted to go immediately to travel to Bozhira. And it's actually on my top list, on my bucket list, but for some reason I haven't yet gotten there. But maybe I will in the future. I want to focus on some recent news first. We've heard that Kazakhstan launched a Neo Nomad Visa, right, to attract digital nomads from across the world. But, this sounds very exciting and good on paper. But what can Kazakhstan truly offer to target audiences of this visa?
You know that Kazakhstan is open for more than 80 countries with a visa-free regime, so anyone can come to visit Kazakhstan up to 1 month, and for some countries it's up to 3 months. So, but two funny stories. We were traveling with my minister. We went to Almaty, and we at that time we were a Ministry of Culture and Sports with tourism inside. So. With culture, we had a new department of creative economies or creative industries. So we went to meet creative people of Almaty together with the minister. Many of them, they said, we have friends, foreign friends, who are living and enjoying Almaty because it's so comfortable and so affordable for them to stay here. They are designers, some content-making people, consultancy services. So they are staying, they're living in Almaty, but they are so sorry. They want more than 1 month to be able to stay. So they actually combining working and travel. And Almaty is a beautiful city for them. So they requested a new type of regime or visa to stay longer than 1 month. And a week later, we went to Aktau, and we had a lunch in one of the local cafes, and we met teenagers, a lot of them. I think they were teenagers, but very creative, but you can see that they're not locals. And they said that it's so beautiful living in Aktau because in less than 1 hour you can be in Baku.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were traveling to have lunch in Baku and getting back
really?
to Aktau. You can see a beautiful sea, very nice weather and climate, and very short distance to travel to Moscow, to Istanbul. And so they were also requesting a permission to stay longer. They said for us it would be much more convenient to spend here 7 months or 8 months. So we went back and we got an idea to create a new type of visa, which could let people stay up to 1 year. But for those ones who are traveling as a tourist and working remotely in their companies, and very few papers to take to the embassy of Kazakhstan, and within 5 days you get your visa and you're able to move with your family and live in any city of Kazakhstan, combining your work and travel. Why is it interesting? I think now more than 20, maybe 26 countries are offering such visa, but not all of them, or not any of them, can offer such a beautiful combination. You can see nomadic culture, you can stay in a safe city, you can enjoy branded hotels, or you can enjoy a huge diversity of food and beverage facilities and nightlife and everything. And it's affordable and people are friendly. So we think that Kazakhstan can be a very favorite place for neo-nomads to live and stay and work remotely in their companies.
And how many days did you say the NeoNomad visa offer?
Up to 1 year. Up to 1 year, but if you decide, you can prolong it for 1 more year. And if you're with your family are getting automatically the same type of visa. So.
I've also heard about some other types of visa that Kazakhstan offers. That was also permanent residence, right? For specific industry experts. Is it right?
Yes, it's correct. It's a project of Digital Ministry. So what they offer is a visa, but it's more a working permit than a visa for those who has background in IT, AI. So we are welcoming them, so they can be based here, employed here, or develop their own business here in Kazakhstan. So that one is more about working permit and residency.
I see.
What we offer is to let you stay as a tourist up to 1 year.
Wow, that's great. And that's quite a long period, right? So you get to know the country.
Sure, for those ones who are traveling, yeah, they usually leave up to 1 year in Georgia, up to some 1 year in Uzbekistan. They can mix with Kazakhstan and with the other countries. It's really a trend now. People are traveling who are not binded to his office, who can work remotely. This is a beautiful chance for them.
And what's been the progress so far? I mean, what's the demand that you see for Neo Nomad Visa?
I haven't requested the latest number yet today, but last week it was 7, and we launched it in the end of November, I think. So Christmas, pre-Christmas time, New Year, I don't think people really think about
they were
visa,
about
collecting
stuff, right?
paper and filling up the applications, but I think it will go now. And we didn't have actually a lot of promotion, so it's just we're just starting.
The next thing that I want to discuss is the last year, 2024, as we just recently wrapped 2024. Could you name some key highlights for the tourism industry of Kazakhstan? If you could summarize it in 3 key highlights for the industry.
I would say, I think the biggest event was Nomad Games of last year. 89 countries were represented, around 3,000 athletes of different ethnic sports took part in the competitions in different venues, and it was very well organized, so you cannot feel any traffic jam or any inconvenience, but a lot of people, and very interesting. Of course, chess and boxing and basketball, they are also very beautiful events to watch, but as a spectator, when you're on the plaza and you're looking and you see, for example, cowboys from United States competing on horseback riding and wrestling with the Kazakh national team or with a team from Kyrgyzstan, and it's a kind of brutal game and a mix of cultures and very interesting. And for spectators, I think it was a very beautiful show, and that's why it attracted more than 100,000 foreign visitors.
And what about other highlights?
Other highlights, since we announced an open sky policy, this was a great achievement for Kazakhstan and for the tourism of Kazakhstan, because before we used to protect national carrier Air Astana, but then we announced the open sky policy, and last year we have AirAsia and some more of airlines flying to Almaty and Astana. We had a direct flight from Almaty to Milan, for example, which is very successful. So I think open sky policy and new airlines coming to Kazakhstan is another big thing to highlight.
And wasn't it in place, since, if I'm not mistaken, since 2017, the open skies regime? What has changed last year?
It took time for another international carriers to see the market, to feel the demand for that. And don't forget, there was a period of pandemic,
right?
Yeah. So when we started recovering, and immediately we got AirAsia, for example, giving affordable prices to fly to Malaysia and Singapore and Vietnam, and this is good for our people and for foreign tourists as well. But if Kazakhstan citizens, if they can fly and see much of other parts of the world, then of course it's good.
Since you mentioned the World Nomad Games, and Kazakhstan has hosted plenty of international events, but it seems like the country is yet not widely known. What do you think is the core issue? Is it infrastructure? Is it promotion? Or is it something else?
I would say that it improved a lot. Some years ago, when you travel and when you say that you're from Kazakhstan, people would say, is it a part of Afghanistan, or is it a part of Pakistan? Now it changed a lot. Last year we had a visit to Italy So I was very happy that people know what is Kazakhstan and who are Kazakh athletes and singers, and they know well that it's a well-developed modern country. And we were never afraid or ashamed we were never planning to change the name of the country because it's Stan. No, at the time when we had a lot of attention on Stan, comparing us to other Stan countries, we released a promo campaign, which was Travel Stan. Kazakhstan is a travel Stan.
I remember that.
Yeah, Epic Stan, Photo Stan, and actually it was successful. It was awarded with very high international marketing awards, the campaign. Now we have another campaign which sounds like, and actually it happened just after the Nomad Games, it sounds like Born Bold.
Yeah.
Born Bold. And starting this campaign immediately after we had Nomad Games and this wrestling, archery, and horseback riding, kokpar, and we were happy that it's a very nice campaign part of the event that just finished. So, and being bold is not only about being strong in fighting or being strong warrior. It's also about being strong in arts, in music, in opera, ballet, in AI technologies, IT technologies. So, which we are actually showing. So now I feel that we are recognized like Kazakhstan, of course, Dimash, and of course,
yeah, of course,
yes. So we're not feeling uncomfortable because we sound, or people might not know where it's exactly located, but now it's improving a lot. We are planning to invest in promotion, much more attention and resources, but it's already on the right way.
What do you think is the right way to promote the country on a global stage? Because I've heard, as a journalist, I've covered a lot about tourism, and I've heard Travel Stan, it's very nice campaigns, a lot of campaigns that were aimed to promote the country's image across the world to international tourists. But one question is, what is the right way to promote? And the second one is, I'm always wondering, what's the real impact? I mean, how do you assess the impact of these marketing and promotion strategies?
Well, first of all, you need to be very careful on target markets, where you want to be promoted, where you're really interested to be well known as a beautiful destination to travel. So a great job which was done by Kazakh tourism. Now we know exactly which markets we are looking for, and of course air connectivity, airlines connectivity is very important. So when we started investing in some marketing and promotion campaigns in Saudi Arabia, some months later, like less than 1 year, you can see people from Saudi traveling to Almaty. When we started promotion last year, we did more than 30 promo events in China. The flow increased double, I think. And now in Almaty, and not only in Almaty, you can see a lot of Chinese tourists traveling. So you can promote, you can spend a lot, and many countries, I would not name them, but they're spending millions in promotion and promoting themselves in every markets, which is not the correct way now. A couple of cases, Barcelona was promoting a lot, and the mayor of Barcelona now, he's announcing that they're struggling with over-tourism, and gives a negative impact and overload on the utilities, or the level of crime and consumption and transportation, everything, every sphere of the life of the city, it can feel the negative impact of tourists. And they made a survey, they calculated that every tourist costs to the city 160 euro a day. So if the tourist is not spending more than 160, which is a break even, it means no sense to have that, to welcome that tourist, because he is giving, anyway, it's a kind of pollution, it's overload on everything, consumption of utility, of electricity, and etc. So some cities and even countries, they are now changing the strategies. They are attracting tourists who are paying more and more, as much as possible. Some areas, they do not give the license for three-star hotels, only 4 and 5-star hotels, because the average spend per tourist is higher. If you're welcoming a guest who is staying in a 5-star hotel, he spends more. So we should be, now we're reaching very high records, like 15 million visits, foreign visits a year.
Yeah, wow.
Last year, 15 million. So if you take out the part of those tourists who stayed less than 1 day, we call them visitors. They are not tourists, so they are visitors. So it's 10 million. 10 million tourists. We don't need 20 million.
Exactly. We're not ready, right?
We better keep this 10 million, but different quality of tourists. That's why another thing, and by the way, my friend, she's a minister of tourism of Italy. She told me exactly the same, that the Lombardia region, where Milano is, they started feeling problems because of over-tourism. So now they're looking for only luxury segment, only for those ones who are coming and buying those Damiani and etc. brands, which we are doing good. Kazakh tourists are doing good. That's why maybe we are very, very well known in Italy. So strategies are changing. And now we have to ask ourselves, what can we offer? What is the attraction? What can we offer to the high level or high-end touristic product to the international market? Is it really city architecture that we have? Or maybe nature? Nature, yes, of course. Different landscape for 14 national parks with absolutely different landscapes. Nomadic culture, yes. Everything combined together. You need only 1 hour to get up to the glaciers, and you need only 1 hour to get to the dunes and deserts, and you see the traditional housing of Kazakh people, and everything is very close. But at the same time, you're staying at Ritz-Carlton. During the night, you have beautiful bars and discos. And of course, this is a very nice combination to sell. But does it really a product that you can sell extremely expensive? I don't think so. So what I believe is that skiing is one of the products that Kazakhstan has, which can be sold extremely high. One skier, he spends $250 US a day, while one...
In Kazakhstan, I mean, or on average?
Everywhere. Approximately $250 US a day, when tourists who are flying to enjoy the sea in Egypt, Turkey, they are spending 50 US. So 5 times, if you compare. So better have less but expensive tourists than
I see a point, yeah.
More and spending less. So skiing in Kazakhstan, it's a high-end product. It can be sold very expensive, and you're not cheating. Having beautiful resorts with 300 sunny days a year, with 9 to 10 meters of natural snow at the level of glaciers, with 6-7 months of skiing, and at the same time you're not driving hours and hours like it's in other countries. You're not driving through the tunnels. It's only 25 minutes and you're at the ski resort. So this is what we can sell, and hopefully This year we will maybe relaunch, or we will prepare another strategy of ski resort development. We can have hundreds of kilometers of slopes, comparing very easy. You can compare it to Italy or France or Andorra. So this is what we can do.
I see. So in terms of promotion, you mentioned that it's better to be specific in your markets, right? So you said also that Kazakhstan identified key markets for itself. What are they?
Of course, neighboring countries, China, since we have very good relations, and we have bilateral visa-free with China. Of course, Russia and Uzbekistan. Historically, we are neighbors, but we are a very favorite location for Germany, United States, Great Britain, Gulf countries, India, and South Korea. India, Indian tourists are very funny. We have a lot of them. You can see them everywhere, especially in Almaty. Of course, it's very convenient for them. A very short flight and the same time zone, I think. Yes,
it's half an hour difference. Yeah.
Yes, something like that. And you can see absolutely different type of tourists coming from India. I saw them, families staying at the Ritz-Carlton for 10 days, 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. From very first day of their arrival, they are hiring very fancy cars with drivers, waiting for them 24 hours a day, shopping at the Sentai Mall and getting everything, all the brands, every day. And at the same time, you can see groups of 45, 50 people with their own food, putting their funny music, dancing. They don't see snow, I think, because when they get to Chimbulag, they're like kids playing snowballs and
for the first time, right?
Yes. So you have different types of tourists, and this is very interesting as well.
What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions about Kazakhstan as a country, and what is the government and the ministry is doing to address them?
Misconceptions. I think it's when it was comparing Kazakhstan to some other stands, and automatically they would say that has war stopped? Mm-hmm. Or are you still riding camel?
Exactly.
Or are you still staying in a tent? I'm happy that I'm not hearing that anymore. It was 10 years ago. That was Borat. Very funny story. And actually, it's good that we did not react seriously. We didn't take it serious. But yes, some students in London, sometimes you still can hear that, Borat Stambor, something. This is funny, not more than that. But with new campaigns like Born Bold, like hosting Olympics, and we have many international MICE events happening here. And we're not talking about political events. How many high level of political meetings happened here? How many, and regularly we have meeting of heads of religions and confessions here in Astana. So the image, I think, it has completely changed. And with our stars and celebrities, singers and athletes, we are on the map as a modern, well-developed, number 9 by the size, peace country. And yes, flying 6-7 hours is not an easy thing, and it cannot be cheap. The high cost of tickets, of course, it's a challenge for us to develop more of tourism. But as I said, we are looking for tourists that are not caring much about the ticket of the flight. So, but we have to submit. We have to, be able to pay them back with the emotions that they get here. So level of service and the comfort that they require, it should be here on place.
So what do you mean by saying you don't care about, not care about people who find it important? I mean, the price of tickets. What did you mean by saying that?
Those people who are not just looking for vacation, lying on the beach and having their beer, and tourism is changing a lot year to year. Now, those types of tourists who are traveling a lot and looking for a very nice a lifestyle or a style of vacation, they are ready to pay a lot, hundreds of thousands, and they are traveling and looking for beautiful, beautiful places and cities and city tourism or urban tourism. I mean, yeah, there are people who are looking to see some architectural, beautiful buildings, but more and more people are looking for ecotourism, beautiful landscapes, untouched. Mm-hmm. But it should be supported with infrastructure. It should be safe. You need a very nice bed to sleep. You need very luxury conditions to stay and to be safe. But at the same time, you want to be far from the noise of the city. You want to feel alone in the nature. This is what we can offer, but we need to improve with the infrastructure. And then you get a tourist who is not concerned about the ticket price. If it's 1,000 euros or 5,000 euros, they would come if they are sure that they can meet their expectations, get what they were planning to see.
If we talk about Kazakhstan's main attractions, and there are many, right? You mentioned Bozhirva, Katon-Karagay, Markakol, but many people, and I'm also speaking about citizens of Kazakhstan, find it not only expensive, but also sometimes difficult to access those wonderful locations and sites. What has been done, what is being done to make traveling within Kazakhstan more affordable and more accessible, and not only for international tourists, right, but also for domestic travelers?
Okay, very good question. Tourism, like many other industries, it can develop if there is infrastructure. Getting from one region of Kazakhstan to another one, it's a big distance. And having roads and utilities, electricity, water pipelines all over the country with the size of Kazakhstan is absolutely different scale of works than having the same in Georgia, Kyrgyzstan, or Uzbekistan. And climate, we have cities where it's plus 35, minus 35, so utilities are, you have to invest much more to keep them strong. But we're doing good. For last 5 years, year to year, we're improving a lot in the infrastructure. If you're driving a car from one region to another, from Astana to Almaty, for example, I did last year. During my vacation, I took my motorbike and I did a ride from Astana to Almaty.
On a motorbike?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
It's 1,000 kilometers, right?
Even more. Just to see the quality of the road, because people are complaining when you're meeting with people in different regions, or when you're in the parliament, you're hearing a lot of complaints that it's very difficult, no road. So I tested, the road is beautiful, very new. Yes, still some problems related to the lack of service. every 50 kilometers you need to stop somewhere to have a rest, but it's there, but not every 50 kilometers. Sometimes it's 100 kilometers. So in order to have your coffee, you have to ride and ride and ride. But it's coming as well. So roads are there. Kazakhstan Railways, they're year to year, they're buying new wagons, passenger wagons, to make it more accessible for local people to travel. Airline companies, they're year to year, they're buying more and more aircrafts. Hopefully, Skat Air Astana and Kazakh will, they promise to enlarge their capacity a lot, because there is a new investor came into the company, so they will have much more than just 6 aircrafts. So it will improve. Of course, that reflects on the business. If you're the only Shimbulak in Almaty Mountains, of course you will have 10,000-15,000 people a day, and the service quality is getting worse and worse. You have problems not only with the service, but also with the safety, and then you have to increase your ski pass fee, and you're increasing. Of course, it's at one time it's not convenient price-wise for local people to travel, and we have many complaints that it's so expensive. Yes, but when there is not only Shimbulak, when there is another Bulak and something ski resort, Almaty resort, and many other resorts, and if they are combined as a one big resort, then people would, managers, they would fight for customers. Then they are taking care of less prices, better quality of service. The same thing is about, for example, Riksa Saktau. While there is only one Riksa Saktau, of course, during a season, they want to earn as much as possible. And at the time when Russian citizen, Iran, they are ready to come and pay whatever price is, of course, they would be putting price at night higher and higher and higher. And with Borovaya, Burabay, the same story. They have a very short season, so they want to earn as much as possible. And there is a demand. People are coming. And if you're not brilliant in your service, but anyway, they will come. So you put it expensive, you're not caring much about the quality of service. But if there are 5 of venues like yours, of facilities, so we need more competition. In order to have more hotels and resorts, you need to give a state support. Now we have a program with Development Bank of Kazakhstan. They are financing with lower interest rate big projects above 7 billion tenge. We have Damu, another state support measure.
Is it given to private businesses?
To private businesses, yeah, for smaller projects, and we want also to create a special program to support community-based tourism. I strongly believe that CBT, community-based tourism, is a huge potential. If you train people who are living in the villages on the basis of their houses or of their farms to create a small guest houses and welcome guests, that can be sold at very high price. When I was traveling in French Alps or Austrian mountain resorts, you can stay in a branded hotel for 380 euro a night, or you can stay in the farm where a farmer is taking care of you with his family, and that was 850 euro a night. So it's much more expensive than staying in a branded hotel. And you're giving a job to your people, and they don't have to wake up in the morning, drive to Almaty, looking for your wages or for your work and job in Almaty, and in the evening driving back to your home. They can be staying in their home and selling these beautiful stories, like staying in the yurt, serving traditional cuisine.
Drinking hummus.
Then his neighbor might be having a bee farm. Another one can take your guests and have a horseback riding tours in the mountains.
Oh, sounds exciting.
Yes, and there are 200,000 people who are owning their farms in Kazakhstan. If each of them can welcome tourists and create a little business and hire another 5 neighbors to work and to create this product, then you can imagine around 1 million people.
That's a real economic impact, right?
Yes, that's what we're looking for. That's why we're day to day, we're preparing new changes to the law to let these people welcome tourists, because now they cannot. If you're the owner of the farm, you can do only farming business. Yeah. If you have, I don't know, apple tree garden, you can do only this. You cannot welcome and open rooms or beds to welcome tourists. So now we're giving this kind of rights. And I think when we had a very beautiful experiment, we made a training to the village in Almaty region, simple, basic lessons how to create a small business on your farm. We made it for 980 people, almost 1,000 people. And in 1 year, more than 80 guest houses opened in that village.
Isn't it Satta village?
Satta, yes, exactly, yeah. Satta village. And now they are improving. Of course, first ones, they were not maybe that comfortable, but now I stayed there, very beautiful. And people like grandma bringing beshparmak,
yeah.
and she can communicate to you in English, you know, some basic words, and very interesting. Another lady selling some handcraft souvenirs and on the street, and she's reading a vocabulary, Russian English vocabulary. So she's trying to get more English words to be able to communicate. So this is a beginning of beautiful story, how community-based tourism can be developed by local people, and it will be affordable for locals, and it will be very interesting for Europeans and people from United States to see that, because they are living in big cities. I'm not sure if they ever seen a horizon, sun which is going down, and you can see it up till down. So they're living in the city. So living in a yurt in Almaty Mountains or East Kazakhstan, Katon-Karagay Mountains, staying in a very traditional Russian house, being served with the family. In the morning, you're going and collecting eggs, and then you're doing your breakfast. This is beautiful. This is what can be.
And really it targets both international and domestic travelers, right? Because for us who live in big cities, I often miss, this vibe of a village, of aul, back in the childhood. And you want some grandma to cook borsaks for you, to cook beshparmak, or drink some beverages, our Kazakh beverages. And it sounds, very amazing, even for me.
You see, even us, we are very close to that. And we used to live in our childhood with this kind of lifestyle. Even us, we miss those days. But of course, people from, from London, they would love that.
Exactly.
From France. Of course.
And what we are saying today, and what we are hearing from the government, that we need to increase the flow of tourists to Kazakhstan, both domestic, both international. But I'm really wondering about, this delicate balance between tourism development, but also making sure that our nature, our pristine nature, remains intact. Remains in the state that it was before. Because I've seen a lot of cases, not only in Kazakhstan, but across the world, where people just do not care about nature. They throw their rubbish and doing other stuff that is doing harm to the nature. What do you think is the right balance between these two very important things?
The balance is so fine, and it's so difficult to keep that balance between developing the tourism in protected areas and not giving a negative impact on that areas. Very fine. So that's why a team of people, of my colleagues, they were sent to United States for 3 weeks. They were studying the experience that US went through with their national parks. And yes, there is a balance, and we need to be careful, and we need to understand very clearly that if tourism can bring you some millions, but it can bring a negative effect on the house of snow leopard, for example. Yeah, Kazakhstan is one of only 12 countries where it still exists, snow leopard. If there is a risk, even small one, then please stop. You don't need these hotels there. It's a house of snow leopard. But there is balance. There are standards, and if you're taking care and you're doing your development, tourism development, satisfying that standard norms, then it can be done even in the national parks. But those territories, there are 5 grades of territories in the national parks. So in 2 of them, tourism is allowed, and others restricted. So yes, of course, it's always beautiful to put a huge hotel made of concrete on 4,000 meters above sea level, 500 rooms or 500 keys with beautiful views. You can sell it extremely high, expensive, and you can earn millions on that. But glaciers, this is not your house. This is a house of snow leopard and mountain god. So we have to understand that.
And just to wrap up the conversation, and I know we could be talking about tourism for hours, but we have limits of time. And my last question is, what are your expectations for tourism for this year, 2025?
For 2025, do you want to hear numbers or you want to hear ideas? I believe this year and next year and following years, we will have increasing numbers. Inbound, outbound tourism, both. But as I said, we should be very careful. Are we looking for high numbers, or we're looking to give less negative impact on our infrastructure and ecosystems and national parks and cities? And so numbers will be continue growing. I want this year to see Aktau Riviera as one complex completed with other hotels and maybe a summer camp for kids and wellness hotels, not only hotels where you just have your party and your beer and having fun, but also wellness types of hotels. So these 115 hectares of land can be finally presented as one touristic destination. This is number one. Number two is if this year we start the development of one ski resort, big ski resort in Almaty Mountains.
That sounds exciting.
Then yeah, I think that our strategy is correct. We're going on the right way. You cannot spread on all 20 regions and do everything everywhere. You have to concentrate. So for us, the top priority is to finalize that project in Caspian Sea, on Caspian shore, and to create a better infrastructure, not only skiing, hiking trails, mountain biking trails, horseback riding, trails, visitor centers, and toilets in the mountains. Otherwise, there is a huge risk that we will spoil them.
Thank you very much, Yerzhan, for this interesting conversation. It was very glad for me to hear the behind-the-scenes work that the ministry is doing, and I'm wishing you good luck in your job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.